Hi everybody, Skyee here. Welcome to our Wednesday live stream. I'm a little bit late. I had to see Rain off. He's going for an emergency dental appointment. The poor guy's been in some serious pain the last 3 days. So we're just going to wait for some people to join before we start. If you're watching the playback, feel free to skip forward. Just going to get my chat up here too. And Kitty's climbing on the shelf, so the camera might shake. What are you hunting? Hi Elizabeth, hi Jody. Yeah, she is a pretty little thing, isn't she? She's a little crazy today. She's been following me around the house all morning, demanding cuddles. Hi Kim. Oh, hello Mr. Sanford. I see you're not working today. I hope everybody's doing well. Hi Robin, thanks for joining. This weekend being like this Friday, or you mean like the next upcoming weekend, Erin? Just your little tail twitching is making my camera shake, Missy. Oh, that's awesome. Let me know when you get here. We definitely have to go play some pool. Like you'll be here on a Saturday, or we should go play pool on a Saturday. So just wait for a few more people to join. This is what I've been working on most of the morning. Isn't this adorable? It's a little DIY pencil holder just made out of a mason jar. And I actually wanted to get your guys' opinions. I have 2 more on the go. I don't have faces on them yet, but I was wondering what you guys thought looked better. The white top or the black top? I was thinking maybe leave this one black and then do white for these two, or have them all the same color. What do you guys think? Okay, sounds good. Saturday it is. Hi Lori B, thanks for joining, hun. I hope you're doing good today. Yeah, I like the black too. They're pretty much already painted. These two need another coat. This one's totally done. And then these two will have little faces on them too. One will probably have a mustache and the other will probably be a winky face. But I'm just undecided on whether to do different tops for them or do them all black or all white. Robin, the white on the bottom I actually did with spray paint just because it would have taken forever for acrylic paint. And then I did go over top of these two with acrylic paint to get the colors. Yeah, I like the black too. Just need one more coat and then their faces and they'll be done. I seen that on Pinterest and I thought it was absolutely adorable. Yeah, YouTube will put you in timeout jail, Erin, if you talk too much. So, I started another page in here. I don't know why, but I started this one last night. I was just kind of flipping through, and then for some reason I just saw purple clouds on this page, so I started. And I was using the ink tint, and I'm really not sure how I feel about it. This paper definitely does not like watercolors at all. That's exciting, Jody. I'm super happy that you were able to reach your goal. And I will be halfway through Mermaids, Fairies, and Other Girls of Whimsy after I color 2 more pictures in it. So hopefully next year I'll have it done. Robin, I think I'm only going to make the 3 for now, but I was actually thinking I might make some more in the future for my paintbrushes and stuff, and like makeup brushes, that kind of thing. Because they're super cute, and they could be used for pretty much anything, and they're really easy to make, so. Thanks, hun. Okay, Erin. So this is the one that we're going to continue working on. And now I'm to the point where I'm getting a little bit nervous about it. But I think it'll turn out okay. So what do you guys think we should do today? I'm caught between either the skeletons or the wings. I'm a little bit worried about the skeletons, but if I get them out of the way, maybe I can relax a little bit. Elizabeth says skeletons. I think it would be a good idea to do that. And I was thinking with the skeletons, I think I want to keep them along the same color as her headband, or her witch hat band and her stockings. But I want to make them a little bit lighter so that way they don't blend in too much. So let me just see what colors we used for those. Hi Christine, thanks for joining, hun. Okay, so we need metallic gold, bronze, and then I don't think, did we use the lemon yellow or the canary yellow? I can't quite remember. Let's make them a little bit more yellow toned though. So we'll go with canary yellow, and then I think we'll grab cream and white. And that should hopefully work. And actually, I'm a little bit worried about the bronze and the metallic gold. I noticed on these that they don't blend as well as I'd like them to. And with the skeletons being a lot bigger. Hi, Shalene. Thanks for being here, hon. Hi, Katrina. Thanks for joining. Oh, that's awesome to hear, Robin. Not the first part of that, but glad that you were able to get everything back. Let's, instead of the metallic gold, let's use green ochre. Oops. Let's see if I can find that here. Okay, and I'm not sure if I want to stick with the bronze or not. No, that's okay, Robin. Heck, if you even wanted to pop a link to your blog in there, go ahead, I don't mind. Always open to support all of you wonderful people. I think we'll keep the bronze. No problem at all. Hi, Rebecca. Thanks for joining. Oh, just 1 second, guys. I gotta deal with a VIP member here. Just 2 seconds. Okay, so let's zoom in and get started. So I'm just going to start tackling this guy first, just because he's close to the binding of the book. So the sooner I get him done, the sooner I can focus on the easier parts to color. These books are pretty good though. For the most part, they do sit flat. Oh, thank you, Shalene. I'm really happy with how she's turning out too. I actually really like her so much that when I like a picture this much, I actually get scared to finish it because one wrong color can throw the whole thing off. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my green ochre, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use this as my darkest color. So I'm just going to start lightly going in on the shadows, and if I think we need it to be darker, then I'll go in with something else as well. But for now, we'll use this. Not really sure where the shadows on these skeletons are going to be, so I'm just going to kind of wing it and hope for the best. As always, we'll keep our light source into consideration, and our imaginary light is coming in from the top right. Oh, thank you, Kim. Yes, thumbs up is always appreciated. Let's put shadow in on the inside here and the outside here. Let's maybe go on the right side of this line with a shadow. Again, I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of winging it. Hi, Locket Todd. Thanks for joining. Hi, Lisa. That's okay, hun. Thanks for being here. Lurk away. That's usually what I always do in the chats, too. I usually say hi at the beginning, and then you probably won't hear from me for the rest of the stream. Okay, and I think I want to do this shadow on the right side of this line as well. Still undecided on whether I want the shadows to be a little bit darker or not. So we'll probably just go through, we'll take our time, go through and kind of map out all the colors, and then we can get an estimate on how it's going to look, and then we can make decisions from there. Maybe put a little bit of a shadow on the left side of his nose here too. and then I'm going to switch to my bronze. Again, not going very light, or not going very hard in pressure, I mean. These colors are a little bit closer in color than I thought, so I think that right there is going to be the deciding factor. I think we will make the shadows a little bit darker. So I'm just going to pop this in and bring it out just slightly further than we brought out the green ochre. Just going to kind of bring this line up a little bit here. Seems to look okay, so. Okay, let's grab. Hi May, thanks for joining. Hope you're doing well today. Let's grab sepia and black actually. Let's make these skeletons look a little bit dingy. And then that way our golden hue to them is a little bit more laid back. Not really quite sure the phrase that I'm looking for. So I'm going to take my black first, and I'm just going to pop this in on the very lines of our shadows. I don't want too much of this in here. Fade it out just slightly. Hi Kate, sweetheart, thanks for joining. Well, I'm not really sure what I'm doing, but I'm liking the effect of it so far. There's my little man in the background. I don't know if any of you seen Joyce's picture on the official Jasmine Becket-Griffith group, but she actually just finished coloring this picture with Copics, and she actually left the skeleton's eyes the same as the sky and filled them with stars. So I told her I might have to steal that idea. Thanks, Rebecca. Hi, Kimberly. Thanks for joining, hun. Oh, thanks, sweetheart. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to put in for black. No, wait, I lied. This part here would actually be shadowed a little bit too, so let's pop a little bit of black in there as well. Maybe bring it up to about here. And I actually place down a piece of paper here because the stickles are trying to cling to my sweater. I'm gonna try to get a nice fade. It's a little bit hard with the spine of the book here though. So I'm actually gonna use the side of my pencil because that's gonna make it a little bit easier. Okay, there we go. I guess talking about the star idea? If so, then yes, it's definitely a neat idea. Her picture turned out absolutely amazing. I actually didn't even know that her picture was done with Copics until I read her description. Oh, thanks so much, Alicia. And hi to you. I feel like I might have missed you. Thanks for being here. Well, yeah, that was kind of the thing. It was the background because she did a starry sky background and then the skeleton's eyes were the same as the background, I guess. Just really pretty night sky colors with lots of stars and stuff. I can't remember if she did the noses the same too. She probably did. Don't know if I said, but I'm going in with the sepia now and I'm just going to bring this out a little bit from the black. And she also put streaks in her little witch's hair too. I always forget that you can have more than one hair color in hair. I think I've done streaks like one time on a Hannah girl and that's it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Kim. I hope it does help. What's up, Roman? Oh, for being loud?
No, that you hitting the one that is really loud.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I didn't hear anything. You're all good. Hey, can you close the door over a little bit though, please? It's okay. Thanks, honey. Dip dyed. I'm not quite sure what that is. Rebecca, I'm using the Prismacolor Premier pencils. Specifically sepia at the moment. Or do you mean like all the colors that I'm using for the skeleton? Do you want me to list them? That's awesome, Jody. Black scares me a little bit. I've done a few with black hair, I think. I always feel like it turns out gray though if I try like a straight black. I don't mind doing black with a blue highlight. I feel like it looks a little bit better, but black is a tough one to get. I don't want to go over these little teeth marks too much here. I want them to have a little bit of a gold highlight to them, but let's see. I think, actually I'm going to go in with my black here. Okay, yeah, no problem, hun. Technically, this would be a little bit shadowed as well, so I'm going to take my black in along here. Switch back to the sepia and go over it. Just going to bring the sepia out a little bit further here, I think. Add a little bit of this around the left and bottom sides of his eyes too, maybe. I don't know, I'm more just playing around and having fun with it now. I'm not really sure. It seems to be working, so I'm just gonna go by instinct, I think. Okay. Okay, so you mean kind of like an ombre hair color. I've done that before. See, I was thinking about, there's this new thing, I don't know what it's called. I thought it was called drip dye. Maybe it's something else though. But they like take colors and like just drop it all over your hair, so it ends up looking really colorful and kind of weird in a good way. Okay, so next I'm gonna grab green ochre again, I think, and I'm gonna use this to start burnishing our shadows. So I'm just gonna bring this in over top of the black and the sepia. I don't think I'm gonna bring it out much further than the sepia though. No, not necessarily. It could be, it's basically going from one color to any other color. And I think it could be either way. It could be light to dark or dark to light. But yeah, I think you could even have an ombre of like the same color as well, but you could still have different colors. Unicorn hair would be sweet, Jody. That'd be tricky though. I have a hard time doing ombre hair. I've done a few of them, but I'm using my paper here behind the page. Just gotta fix that. I'm gonna leave just a slight area here for a little bit of the yellow. Okay. See, now that I get. That looked pretty neat. I can't think of the name of that technique that I'm thinking about though. maybe it's drip dyed. I'm not sure. I love looking at your pictures on Instagram, Jody. I also love how you always put it in your story, but you don't show the colors, so that way we have to go to your page and look. It's like a surprise. You know what picture it's going to be, but you don't know what the colors are going to look like. This part of his jaw here, I'm just going to mostly color in with the green ochre, I think. And I'm just going to lightly come in along this side as well. Not completely burnishing it, but I want it to be a little bit darker. Because technically the side of his head would be shadowed. I think, anyways. I feel like it should be. It's definitely true. Okay, next I'm going to switch to the bronze. And I'm just going to use this to kind of bring it out a little ways. Kind of blend into our darker colors here. Cannot wait to be away from the spine. I think for the most part, I'm going to use this just to kind of put everywhere except the highlights, so that way I can see where our highlights are going to be. And then I'll kind of blend into it. So I'm going to have a little bit of a highlight here, coming up all the way along here. It's kind of got this triangle look. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that though. I think I'm actually going to kind of separate that. So I have a separate highlight here. It's a little bit of a highlight coming down this way. Of course, there's going to be a highlight running all along this side of his head because that's where the light's going to be hitting it. This side of his nose, and then I don't think all of his teeth would really be highlighted, but I want them to stand out, so I'm not going to make them any darker than they are. So then now that I've got the highlights figured out, I'm going to carry on with the bronze. And I'm just going to bring it out as far as I mapped out and then just kind of fade it. So if I've got a lot of the bronze in one area, I'm going to make it a little bit more opaque. And the one thing I love about this paper is it doesn't have to be completely burnished. Actually, let's color in a little bit on his forehead here. Thanks, Kim. Thank you, Jody. Nala is adorable. I love seeing pictures of that cute little thing. Makes me miss when mine were little, but at the same time I don't because they were hellions. Actually, they might even be worse now than when they were kittens. At least when they were kittens, they slept a lot more. Okay, I really like that, so I'm going to stop there. I'm going to grab the canary yellow, and I'm just lightly going to start putting this in. I don't think I want too much of this color. I think I more actually want to concentrate it in the darker areas, because I think it just looks a little bit more... I don't know, it just looks better there for some reason. So I think, thankfully it's going in light. I'm going to just kind of erase where I put it in this highlight here. I'm going to save the highlights and I'm going to use cream on them. And then I'm just going to pop the canary yellow in basically everywhere that I've already colored. Darker in the shadows, and then I'm just going to fade the color out a little bit as it gets lighter because I don't want it to be too yellow. Thanks so much, Rebecca. Yeah, Robin, I don't think they ever really stopped being hellions, actually. My mom's new kitten is just a little terror, too. She's teething right now, so she loves to bite. And then, of course, she loves to scratch. And she'll wait till my mom crawls into bed to go to sleep and then just start attacking her. She's so cute. Okay, this part here, I'm just going to completely go over with the canary yellow. I'm not going to bother saving a highlight. Same with pretty much everything on this side and then under, I guess where his chin is here. Just going to very, very lightly go over these highlighted areas. Just to get a slight tint of that yellow in there. That way the cream doesn't look so out of place. And then lastly, we'll go in with the cream on the highlights, and that'll be one skeleton head done. A little bit of pencil dust here on my page. Okay, there's his head done, and I'm actually not hating that at all. But should we make it look like his skull's cracked or anything creepy like that, or just leave him as is? That's cute, Jody. Also bad. Cute, but bad. I bet she's got quite the little attitude, eh? Thanks so much, Shalene. I'm actually glad that I switched up the colors a little bit because it goes really well with the dull yellows on her clothes, but it doesn't blend in so much that it looks like they're the exact same color, which is kind of what I wanted. Maybe, I'm not 100% sure yet. They would look pretty cool with a couple old cracks in them. I mean, they are skeletons, but I don't know. Let's see if I have any more of my clip thingies. I'm not sure of the names for them. Are they butterfly clips? What are the names for these? I'm not sure what this is called. Okay, let's do some cracks then. I'm going to take the sepia, I think, and I'm just going to put a few on this guy. So I'm going to come out with the sepia. Just kind of put in just a few little cracks. Nothing too crazy, but just enough. Kind of add a little bit of interest. Make him look a little bit creepier. I think for him we'll just do those two. That is true. Binder clips. Okay. For some reason I always want to call them butterfly clips. Maybe that is the name for them here. I'm not really sure. I guess there's a bunch of different names for the same objects, so who really knows? Okay, so now for his body. I'm actually more worried about his body than I was with his head. Yeah, they are very handy, aren't they? I actually never thought of using them. I can't remember who it was. Somebody commented on one of my videos with the idea. It's very, very thankful because I'm constantly fighting with the paper behind the book, or behind the page, so it's definitely helpful. Bulldog clip. Okay, I think I've also heard them called that as well. Yes, what is in the box? I just assumed that you had binder clips in it, but maybe not. So, I think now that I'm a little bit more confident with the colors and whatnot, I'm going to oh, that's a neat idea. That'd be pretty handy, actually. So I'm going to take my black here, and I'm just going to start putting in some of the shadows. Okay, I was right. That's what I thought. I felt like it was kind of connected to the conversation, but I wasn't sure. So if I wasn't sure about the shadows on the head, I'm even less sure about the shadows for his body. So again, just gonna kind of wing it. For the most part, I'm gonna keep the shadows to the left and on the bottoms of things. So we'll put most of his arm here in shadow. I'm just going in lightly with the black because if we have any overlapping shadows like this, I'll probably go in and darken them up. That way you can kind of tell them apart. And these bones get pretty confusing pretty fast. I'm going to hop off chat for just a second here. And I'm going to go look at Joyce's picture. Or whoever's picture pops up when I type in skeleton magic. Just to kind of see what people did with this. Okay, so let's put in a shadow here. Definitely on the fingers. Maybe right there as well. Okay, and I think from there I should be able to figure out what everything is. Hi Tammy, thanks for joining, hun. Thank you. It's not too bad. I'm a little bit worried about the bones here though. There's not much room, so I might have to kind of take it easy on my shadows, but we will see. I'm going to put a shadow pretty much on the top of each one of these little rib cages. Or I guess it'd be technically the bottom. Hi Angela, thanks for joining, sweetheart. I'm not really sure about a lot of the bits in here, so I'm just going to kind of wing it. Tammy, the video that I have up, the more recent one, actually has pretty much all of the color combos in it. I have a lot to add to it. I just haven't made time to put them in yet. But when I do, I'll definitely do an update video. But for now, the one I have up is the most recent one. I haven't added anything since. I've only got like at least 50 screenshots on my phone of combinations that I want to add to my book. Also though, over at the Prismacolor combination group, if you're not a member of that yet, I highly recommend joining. I have my own album there, and everything that I color with Prismacolors, I'll put the picture in, and then in the comments, I take pictures of my book here that I keep all the colors that I use in. So technically this is like a whole page worth of combos in one spot. So definitely check that out too. Angela, this is Jasmine Becket-Griffiths' first book, and it's called A Fantasy Art Adventure. No problem. I figured that'd be the easiest way to do it. I'm also trying to figure out a way where I can do that without social media, like just on the internet. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about that yet, but figure something out. Okay. I think that's probably good enough for the black. I don't want to go too crazy with the shadows because I don't really have a lot of room to work with here. So I'm going to go in with the sepia. And I'm going to put that over top of the black and just fade it out a little bit. I'm going to put it in darker underneath here because I want this shadow to stand out from the one above it. And same with right here, I'm going to darken up this shadow. On all these little tiny bits, I'm basically just going over the black. I'm not really going to bring it out much. Yeah, I definitely recommend this book, Angela. It's definitely a fun book to work in. I'm a huge fan of Jasmine's work, so much so to the point that it scares me to color her work because I don't want to ruin the pages. I just love them so much, but as you can tell, I'm slowly getting over that. The Prismacolor group, hun? Here, 1 second. I can grab that link right now. Oh, sorry, Robin. Just read that you were on that. Thank you. I keep the link on my phone, so it's actually pretty fast for me to grab. You definitely are. So I think what I'm gonna do, because a lot of the details here are so small, and technically this whole side of him would be in shadow, is I'm just going to lightly bring this out with the sepia. And I think I'm gonna bring it about like 3/4 of the way through the bones on his rib cage here, and then fade it out. I'm gonna go back in and add a little bit more black here. So that way we get some kind of realistic shadows, but we'll still have our golden aspects just more on this side instead. So switch back to my black here. Just going to darken up some of these shadows, and I'm going to bring the black maybe about like 1/4 into the rib cage, so not too far. shadow under here though. Perfect, hun. And you're approved. Oh, Kimberly, you requested 2? Okay, 2 seconds. I'm going to have to go through these again. We get so many requests. Kimberly, I'm not sure I'm seeing yours. I'll go through them after the stream. I know the other admins there have been super busy. So sometimes requests end up sitting for usually like up to a week, sometimes even longer. Until one of us takes like 15 minutes to go through them. I think my friend Danny feels overwhelmed sometimes with the group, although she's really happy that she created it and she loves it, but she was expecting maybe a couple hundred to join and we're almost at 10,000 now, so a lot more than she expected. Just gonna come in, I'm gonna take my black and I'm gonna darken up all of these shadows on this side. Yeah, it's a lot. It reached 5,000, I think, a month or two after she created it, so she's definitely not expecting that. I'm just going back in with the sepia here, and again, I'm just going to darken up some of these shadows. I don't want to darken up these ones too much because I feel like he's bringing his arm forward a little bit from his body. So I actually want this side of his arm to be a lot lighter because that's going to make it look like it's in front of this part here. If that makes sense. So I'm going to darken the sepia up about halfway into the rib cage here. A little bit of a shadow here. I think I'm just going to focus on this side of his body for now. That's the group where it's encouraged to share the colors that you've used and to share combinations. We don't enforce it though. I mean, it would be silly to. There's 10,000 people. We're not going to go through every single picture and demand that they list their colors. But it's definitely encouraged because of course that's what the group is for. And Rebecca, yeah, there wasn't really a light source in this, so there's like no moon or no sun, so I just kind of pick where I want the light. I usually have it coming from straight on, like in the center of the pic in front of the people, but for this one I decided to kind of have it more to the upper right. And then you could also technically have multiple light sources, which I probably would because her face is kind of shaded as if there was light right in front of her as well. Light sources are definitely helpful, but they're also super crazy confusing sometimes too. Okay, I'm going to switch to the green ochre now. I'm going to use this to blend the darker colors. I'm not going to completely burnish it, but pretty close. I still want to be able to pop some of that canary yellow in here. I was thinking black and white, Jody, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm actually a little bit nervous about that. I don't usually do animals. I did, let's see if I can find it here. Oh, no, that was in my other book. It's one that I recently finished in my Mermaids and Fairies book. Just give me a second, I'll see if I can find it. I did this cat in Hannah's book, and it looks fairly realistic, but I also used acrylic paint for it, so this one I want to try just with pencil, so I'm a little bit worried on how that's going to turn out, but I'm hoping it'll be okay. Great minds, Jody. Thanks, hon. That's also going to, I recorded it, so it's also going to be a video as well, kind of like a tutorial, which is a side part of that whole picture I colored is going to be next month's color along, so. Still going in with the green ochre. I don't want to put too much of this in here. I basically just want to tint our darker colors with this one because it'll give it a little bit more of that shadowy color that we want. Okay, hon, thanks for joining, Angela. See you next time. Oh, Jody, you already do. I'm going to completely color in these bits here. And then I'm going to come out, let's see, just a little bit further than where this part of his rib cage stops. Actually, while I have this color, I'm just going to go over the other darker areas here that we have. I think this part here would be skeleton as well. Hi, Natalie, sweetheart. Thanks for joining. Oh, thanks, sweetheart. I appreciate that. I'm definitely loving how it's turning out so far. I'm excited to finish it, but I'm going to take my time. We probably have at least 3 more streams on this one. Usually I start a picture and then I start to rush it and then it turns out bad, but I'm going to take my time on this one because I don't want to ruin it. I'm going to switch back to my black here because I kind of missed this little bone back here. And here actually, there's this one just kind of, so that's one part that bothers me. This bone comes up and then it just kind of stops. So I'm just going to kind of draw this in a little bit here. A little bit of shadow in there. I'm going to switch to the sepia. Just add to that black and bring it out just a touch for both of these bones. And then with the green ochre, pretty much just going to go over those colors, not going to bring it out very far. Okay, next let's switch to our bronze. Yeah, you're okay to share it. I was gonna say, I don't know if I could grab the link to it for you, it'd be easier, but you could share the name of it. I don't really know how to grab Instagram links from my phone. I could do it from a computer, but. So I'm just gonna take the bronze and I'm just gonna bring it out a little bit from these colors. I want the center of his rib cage here to kind of be a little bit lighter, so I'm not going to completely color over that yet. I'm going to do the same thing on the rest of these other bones as well. This one down here, I think I'm just going to completely fill that in because I feel like that should be behind. You're very welcome, sweetheart. If anybody wants to pop Instagram names or anything in the chat, feel free. Of course, I think only the mods can post links, but any information you want to give out, go ahead. Okay, we are almost done the skeleton's body. It's actually not turning out too bad. So I'm going to go in with the canary yellow, and again, I'm going to focus this more in the darker areas. So as I get to the lighter areas, I'm going to lighten up my pressure, and I'm just very lightly going to go over the highlights. I don't want them to be too yellow. Basically what I'm doing is I'm just giving the bones a little bit of a yellow tint to them. But nothing too crazy. Thanks so much, Jody. I'm definitely not nervous about them anymore. I'm a little bit nervous about the sky because, of course, we have to have a starry night sky. but I'm not quite sure how I'm going to achieve the stars. Usually if I put them in myself, sometimes they look okay, other times they look staged, for lack of a better word. Actually, I'm going to switch to my bronze again here really quick. Because again, I forgot about these little bones in the background. What do you mean, Posca, hun? Yes, May, I'd like to know that too, Jody. Is there something you'd like to tell us? Something you want to get off your chest? So I'm just going to go in with the cream and basically just going to focus this in the lighter areas on the highlights. I'll blend it a little bit into the canary yellow, but for the most part, we only need a little bit of this. Yeah, that's probably a safe idea, May. There we go, we got one little skeleton done, and he only took like over an hour. Thankfully, our third one here is just the head, so he won't be so bad. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing with this guy. Of course, the shadows are going to be slightly different, but for the most part, it'll be fairly easy now that we kind of have an idea. So I'm going to go in with my black. I'm just going to lightly put in the shadows for now, then we'll go back and darken them up. So I'm going to go in behind this line here. Maybe a shadow there. Pretty much all along this side of his face, or maybe her face, who knows. A little bit of shadow in on the lines of his teeth here as well. And maybe on the left side of his eye socket too. I'm sorry to hear that, Kate. I hope you feel better, hon. Thanks for being here. Get some rest. I'm not really sure what to do about this little bit here. I think we'll have the shadow on this side, on this line, but I'm not really sure what to do about that little bird-like line there. Maybe let's put the shadow in behind that, I think. Put a shadow to the left, this line on his nose here. A bit of a shadow underneath his nose. Another shadow here on the left side of his eye socket. And then, I feel like the right side of this line would actually be in shadow. This part here is going to be highlighted though because the light's going to be facing it, so this shadow is not going to be very big. Left side of this line as well. Maybe come down all the way, I think. Okay, I think that's good for our shadows. I'm just going to go in and just darken some of them up a little bit. This is a very loud truck. Okay. I'm going to go in with the sepia, and we're basically just going to do the same thing that we did on the other skeleton. So I'm just going to bring this over top of the black a little bit and just bring it out just slightly. So if anybody's working on anything, what are you working on? I know I ask every time, but I like to know what everybody's doing. So I've only got 2 works in progress at the moment now, which is this one and then the other Jasmine Becket page I showed at the beginning of the video, which I'm not really loving, but hopefully it turns out good. Let's put a little bit of a shadow in at the top here. Ooh, Anamorphia. I absolutely love that book. What page are you working on in there, Jerry? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Kimberly. I've been doing Inktober too. I don't think I'm doing very well at it though. I've kind of been doing super simple pictures, but I guess the main part of it is as long as you do one every day, that's all that matters. Okay, I think that's good enough for our sepias. Let's go in with our green ochre now. And again, we're going to bring this in over top of our darker colors. And we're going to bring it out a little bit, but not too far. This is like my go-to color for pretty much anything aged. Paper, skeletons, anything you want to look old. It's a great color for that. Oh, the fox. I love that page. That's one of the first ones I did in that book. Especially because it was one of the single-sided ones. So, or not single-sided ones. They're still double-sided, but one of the, you know what I mean. It's not a double page spread. Hi, Nick and Tina. Thanks for joining. I have seen yours, May. I absolutely loved your werewolf. I don't think I've seen... Or was the werewolf yesterday's? I can't remember. I was going to say, I don't think I've seen yesterday's, but I think the werewolf was yours from yesterday. Well, that's awesome, Kimberly. At least you're keeping up with it, though. That's the main point. It's pretty much the hardest part is to do it every day and to keep up with it. That in itself is the biggest challenge. Maybe let's pop a little bit of this color just on this side of his eye, that way it's not completely highlighted. Hi Christy, thanks for joining. I hope you're doing well today. I liked your werewolf. He was a little bit quirky, although I do feel like he might have been a little turned around for his bottom half, but I thought it was pretty cute. Actually, let's stay with the green ochre here. Let's create a little bit of a shadow here. Just don't want this to be one huge highlighted area, so I'm just going to bring in a little bit of the green ochre here. Okay, now I'm going to switch to the bronze. And again, this is basically going to go everywhere except for our highlights. So just going to lightly color in this area here, but it's going to be kind of a dull highlight. Same with the left part of his eye, although when we get over to here, it's going to be a little bit of a brighter highlight there. Same with here. Go over anywhere I think needs to be a little bit more kind of like rustic brown looking. And then for his teeth here, I'm going to lightly color them in with the bronze, but we'll go over them with the canary yellow and make them really kind of pop out. Okay, we're going to go in with the canary yellow. Firmer in the darker areas and then lighten it up as we get to the lighter areas. Again, our highlights, we're just going to very, very lightly go over them, just slightly with the canary yellow, just to give it a little bit more of a yellowed look. But we don't want them to be too yellow. Hi Lisa, thanks for joining. Again, I think you were here before. Goldfish memory, my apologies, but hi. Okay, and then lastly, we're going to go in with the cream. And just finish off all those highlighted areas. Here we go, there's skeleton number 2 done. One more to go, and that's probably all we're gonna get done today. Back in with black for our shadows. So this skeleton's going to be shadowed a little bit differently because I'm kind of imagining that the light is coming in from like right here. So it's going to have a little bit more highlight than the other guys do. So I'm not 100% sure where these shadows are going to go. So I'm just going to take my black and just lightly start putting them in. And we'll get his head done and then focus on his body. Just so I'm not constantly having to move the book up and down. Also, while I have you here, I'm not sure if I'm going to be streaming Monday or not. It's Rain's birthday on Monday, so to play it by ear, I'll see if he minds if I stream on his birthday, but if he doesn't want me to, then I'll stream on Wednesday for sure. And I'm also playing around with the idea of streaming Fridays in the evening for those who usually can't make it to my chat or my live streams because they're sleeping. For now, it's just an idea, but I might actually stream this Friday just to kind of test it out and see if it would kind of work with my schedule. I'm not sure what time yet though, but I'll probably post on Instagram and my story. Okay, this line here, I'm going to go on the left side of it, and it's just going to be a really slight shadow. There's not going to be much to it at all because pretty much the whole top of his head here is going to be highlighted. But we'll keep some shadows in underneath his eyes. Definitely underneath his chin here. Or his jaw, upper jaw, I guess. And I actually feel like this part would probably be shadowed as well. So I'm just going to come over top here as well. Just kind of lightly. And then I'm going to go in darker on the bottom. Just to kind of separate those shadows. What's up, sweetheart?
Your Jimmy not working.
It's not working.
No.
Okay, 2 seconds.
2 seconds, guys.
I'm just going to pop my Instagram in the chat here. That is my Instagram. I'll be right back, guys. Just a minute. Yeah, it just died, honey. Sorry, just catching up on chat. Hi, Candy. Thanks for being here. Seeing people say hi, Selena, too. I'm not seeing Selena, though. Unless, is Candy Selena? Okay, bye, Shalene. Thanks for joining. Hopefully see you next time or see you in one of your streams. Oh, okay. I thought your name was actually Candy. Well, I'll still call you Candy. Just because it's easier to remember because that's what you have as your name. Okay, I'm going to switch to the sepia. I'm going to put this over top of the black. I think I'm going to bring this out a little bit more than I did with the other skeletons, though. I'm not sure why exactly. I don't really have a reason. It's just have a feeling that I should. popping this in everywhere that I put the black. We'll bring it out a little bit. Nothing too crazy. I'm gonna put this in fairly dark and at the bottom here though. This bottom jaw is pretty much going to be mostly dark. Also with the sepia, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly use this for some lighter shadows. So I feel like right here would be a little bit shadowed. Just kind of going to bring that up a little bit. Maybe a little bit here as well. I'm not doing this very heavily, so just give us a little bit of a shadow to play around with, but it's not going to be too noticeable. It's going to be pretty subtle. Okay, and then we're going to switch to green ochre. Pop this in over top of all of our dark places. I'm also going to use just a little bit of a medium pressure to kind of put it in over top of where we just lightly put the sepia. A little bit darker down here, and then we'll lighten it up as we go. Thanks, May. Thanks for being here. Hope you have a great day or evening wherever you are. Or I know where you are, but whatever time it is there. So here, I think for his jaw, I'm going to completely fill this in with the green ochre. It's still not burnished. I still want to go over it with the canary yellow to kind of bring out the yellowed tones in it. Okay, next we're going in with the bronze. And I'm mostly going to use this in over top of the yellow ochre. Or, not yellow ochre, sorry, green ochre. We're going to bring it up a little bit and fade it out when we get to our highlighted areas. I did that the other day, Jody. Except it was a cat hair. I thought there was a spider, but it was just slowly moving and just irritating my arm hair, so it felt like something was tickling me. Oh my goodness, I completely jumped out of my chair and was freaking out. And I probably would have thought that it was a spider, except that it was still on my arm when I looked. It was one of Lilo's hairs. It's definitely almost lunchtime. My tummy is growling. Okay, let's switch to the canary yellow. I absolutely love how this color goes with these brown tones. Fade it out as we get to our highlighted areas. Ooh, that tummy is really growling. Does anybody else find that if they don't eat breakfast, they're not too affected by hunger, but as soon as you eat breakfast, you're like super hungry at lunchtime? It's interesting how that works. Okay, and then lastly, we'll switch to the cream. And just pop that in there on our highlighted areas. Blend it into our colors a little bit, but not too much. Okay, there's another skull done. So now all we have is his body, and then we're done. Yes, that too, Kimberly. I do that all the time. It's a very bad habit, but I do it all the time. Okay, I'm just going to jump off chat just for a second here. Again, I'm going to try and find Joyce's picture so I can kind of go off of hers. Magic. There we go. Okay. Oh, tummy, stop growling. Okay. So with the black, just wherever I'm not sure if it's bone or not, I'm going to put in a shadow just so I know. So I know that that's bone there. And some with here. Come down here a little bit. Looks like his hand here. And then gonna finish that piece off. And that's okay. So that should help. Okay, and I'm really at a loss for the shadows on his body here. Okay, I know that underneath his head, each one of these little spinal pieces here would be darker. I'm going to make this a little bit darker just because it looks like it's tucking in behind these other bones. And then we've got this bone here. I'm just going to do the left side of, because I'm not really, or the right side, sorry, because I'm not really sure where the shadow would be. I'm going to do the same for this one here. And I feel like the light would be like right behind him, so I feel like most of this would be shadow. So I'm just going to kind of wing it, I suppose. So we'll make it darker here. And then I think we'll make it kind of mimic the other skeleton's body and make kind of the lighter area the center of his rib cage. And even though I'm almost 100% sure that the shadowing there won't be right, it will make him look rounded at least. So we'll kind of be working in our favor. So I'm just going to come in on each one of these ribs and just pop a little bit of black coming in. Again, as I've always said, your shadows don't have to be completely correct, but as long as you have shadows, that alone will make your picture look a lot more interesting. Hi Samantha, thanks for joining, hon. Yes, we shall wing it. Usually it doesn't turn out too bad, so I'm going to go in with sepia now, and I'm going to pop that over top of the black, and I'm going to bring it out just a little bit, not too far. What's up, baby?
I want to play something else.
You want to play something else? Can you wait until I've done this, and then I can switch it for you? Maybe about 10 minutes, 15? I think you can wait that long.
Oh, I can't. I don't have enough energy.
Oh, you don't have energy to wait. Well, maybe you don't have energy to play your game then.
Yes, I do. My heart has energy to play it.
But it doesn't have energy to wait.
No, I had 3 hearts. You know that?
No, you have 1 heart.
No, I had 3 hearts. My heart can play be with them. And my other heart can't wait that long.
Oh, I see. Well, you're just gonna have to.
I don't want to.
I know, you never want to wait, but sometimes you have to.
No, I don't want to.
Alright then.
Bye-bye.
I like his logic there, though. For those of you that have troubles understanding logic, what he was saying is he has 3 hearts. One of them can play video games, and the other one can't wait. Oh, I know, he's such a little... he's like a little hellion, but he's so sweet. So these little pieces of the rib cage here kind of meld into one another, but I'm not too worried about them. I think it'll look okay. So next we're going in with green ochre. And again, I'm just going to pop this in over top of our dark colors and just bring it out a little bit. I'm going to do this for pretty much everywhere. garbage truck is here, and if I had to put money on it, I would bet that Rain didn't put the garbage out back this morning. His tooth has been bugging him so bad, he's just not himself lately. He's been forgetting everything. Okay, I'm liking that. So next we go in with the bronze, and I'm just gonna pop this in a few places. Just basically wherever there's room for it. And then also I'm just gonna very lightly fade into the center here where it's going to be lighter. And then we'll switch to our canary yellow. Again, just lightly going over everything with that canary yellow. And then we'll go over it again with the cream, just in our highlighted areas. Okay. I don't think that turned out too bad. Shadow's definitely not right, but it looks okay, so we're just kind of going to go with that. Okay, so lastly we just have his legs to do, and that's pretty much it. So I'm just going to kind of do the same thing with his legs that I did with his rib cage. So I'm going to put his highlights in the middle. Shadows are pretty much going to be on either side. His hand, though, I'm going to keep the highlight at the top here. And we're going to switch to sepia. So I'm going to go over top of the black, bring it out a little bit. Next, in with the green ochre. And bronze. These bits are pretty straightforward. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Kim. Welcome back. Okay, in with the canary yellow. And then lastly, we'll go over our highlights with our cream. And then he's pretty much done. I'm gonna zoom out here. Okay, one thing I'm gonna do while I have these colors out is I'm gonna take the green ochre, I think, and I'm just gonna pop this in on like half of these little spikes coming from her wings. And then I'm going to take canary yellow lightly and just kind of go over top, blend it in. And then I'm going to go in with the cream and just burnish that. Then in with the sepia. Just continue with our cracked skulls here. I'm going to sharpen my pencil out. It's pretty dull now. Just going to lightly put in some subtle cracks. Just kind of here and there, nothing too crazy. Okay, and there we go. I think they're done. So they actually turned out a lot better than I expected. Now I'm just kind of wondering, oh, maybe we'll leave that for next time. I'm gonna have a think on this skull here. Her wings are gonna be black and gray. So I'm just wondering if we should do this skull here the same color as her wings or the same color as the skeletons, but I think we'll color some more before we decide that, at least get her wings done so we can see how they end up. Thanks everybody. I want to thank you all for sticking around and watching this, and thanks to those watching the playback of this. Thank you. Definitely don't have too much left to do. I think we might only have 1 or 2 streams, at least 2 I think. We should be able to get the grass and her wings done in 1 stream, and then I'm thinking the background and the cat and book will probably take another stream. So thanks everybody for being here, and I think I'm gonna go and make me and my little man some lunch and get some housework and stuff done. If anybody was here or wasn't here earlier that usually watches Kate, she said she's not going to stream tonight. She's not feeling well, so hopefully we'll see her. When does she stream? Hopefully we'll see her on Saturday. Yeah, hopefully she feels better. So with that being said, I'll probably see you guys on, I'm not sure about Monday, Wednesday for sure. Again, Rain's birthday is on Monday, so I'm not sure if I'll get the chance to stream or not, but I will let you know on my Instagram. Thanks again for being here, and have a good day, evening, night, wherever you are. Okay, bye everyone.